Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper, and like the third Snapple pass this week, and we've still got two more as well. I'm bloody exhausted. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about FEI. She's a 4/7, activate, move your other cards here to the right. In this video we're going to be talking about synergies, counters, a deck idea, and all of the stuff to do with FEI, including what on earth she's doing here with this crazy new several cards that they've added to the game. You can use the chapters below to skip to the section that you want. And without further ado, let's discuss FEI. Am I feeling faint? I think I need to eat something, honestly. If you see my other videos in this series this week, you think what an absolute mad lunatic man he is. Anyway, I was doing so well with this video. It sounded so professional and I've instantly derailed it. Anyway, FEI has joined the game in this absolute move bonanza where they've added 3 move synergy cards to the game: Batroc, Topaz and FEI. You can get her buying her with tokens in the tokens shop for 3,000 collector tokens, or you can try your luck obtaining her in the Seasonal Series 4 Snap Packs. Seasonal Series 4 Snap Packs contain all of the Series 4 cards that were released in the month that you're in and the preceding 2 months. So as at time of recording, that includes Uncle Ben, Gorgon, Laufey, the first Ghost Rider, Toxie, and those other cards that we're getting this week: Batroc, Topaz, and of course FEI. That will change depending on which season we're in. So when we're in the new X-Men season, Uncle Ben, Gorgon and Laufey will drop off of that, okay? And you can't get duplicates via Seasonal Series 4 Snap Packs. Hope all of that is clear. Let's talk about the mechanics for FEI. So, I think the archetype she's going to fit into is probably a little bit more limiting than the other 2 cards that are being added to the game at this time. Okay, so I think she's obviously a move card. She's going to work in the traditional move decks really nicely. And I have put the lockdown archetype here as well. Is there an opportunity for her in those storm style of decks where we're locking down locations? And let me just slightly alter my backdrop. Hopefully that wasn't disruptive in the other videos that I filmed. Yeah, can you like lock down a location with Storm and then you don't play into that location, and to the left of it you play FEI? Now, if your opponent goes, oh screw it, I can't win that location, and they just decide to concede out of it, you've actually gained because you're playing down FEI, and then at the end of the game you either play your cards and activate FEI and win the lockdown location, or you just don't and it's mind games. You could literally just, even if you're losing the lockdown location or the storm location, you just play mind games with your opponent. In fact, I think in general the mind games element of this card is really interesting and really cool. Because she's a 4/7, you can afford to just stick her in a deck and never even intend to activate her, just to play with your opponent, just to play with them. I think that's really interesting. So I think, in general, she's a new staple move card. In the normal move decks with like, yeah, Ghost Spider, Iron Fist, whatever else, your Vulture, etc., she's going to be a staple, I think, because it's that extra flexibility of being able to not only move to the right, but also the activate means you can do it any time, and it's the unpredictability as well. Your opponent's going to be thinking, are they going to do it? When are they going to do it? What are they going to move? Very interesting stuff. However, she can be used in trick decks to make your opponent wonder. This is sort of what I said a minute ago. Just stick her in a random deck, and your opponent's like, what are they going to do? Stick her in a deck alongside Rocket and Groot. That's one that I hate playing against because I'm like, are they going to move it? Are there other cards that are like that? Can't quite remember. Anyway, she is one of the few cards in the game that can reliably move cards to the right. Sure. Who else can do it? Aranya can do it, right? Nico can do it, but only if you get her on that specific turn. FEI is a bit more reliable and also a bit more substantial with 7 power too. And of course, she whips her hair back and forth. She whips her hair back and forth. I can't do this too much because I've got backache. Anyway, pros. It's nice to get an activate move card that this time can be played before or after the card that you want to move. If you've already got the card in that location, you can play FEI on top of them. And if you haven't, you can play that card on top of FEI and still move them. If we think about Aranya, you have to have Aranya down first, and then the card that you want to move you have to activate, and then you play the card. So FEI is going to work a little bit differently, especially with the fact that you can just activate FEI as the final thing you do in the game. So that's very interesting. She can move 3 other cards, which is good value for 4 energy. It's an unpredictable element for your opponent, and the ability to double move cards on the same turn is going to be very interesting. So you can play like a Iron Fist into a Vulture and then activate Fanfei, and you're getting that double trigger on Vulture. And by the way, that's something that you can just do on turn 5, and then the turn 6 you're doing other crazy things, maybe a Magneto or a Liar thing or whatever. Cosmo on that Vulture that they're going to Shang-Chi, and then you do like maybe a Hydra Stomper in another location. Very interesting stuff. And she's got good base stats. 4/7, you're fine with that. Cons though, as an activate card, there is a small window to play her and to be able to use her. It's literally turn 4 and turn 5. Those are the only turns you can play her, unless there's a limbo, of course, or unless you've got ramping options, etc. Psylocke, you can Psylocke her out on turn 3, right? And the cube rate might be a bit lower if it's obvious you can win the right location. Like if you're building up a big juicy middle location or left location, and your opponent knows you can win the right, they might concede earlier or leave the game. I don't know why. Sorry, yeah, concede is the right word. Anyway, counters for Fanfei: clog and debris. Right, if they are filling up your right location or the location next to your Fanfei, that's going to be harder for you to win it because you can move less cards into that location. Red Guardian. Now, this is not Red Guardian on Fanfei herself necessarily, but it's more so the Red Guardian on the cards that are going to have alongside Fanfei. It might be a Vulture, it might be a Human Torch, and so Red Guardian can just slightly buff down your ability to win that right location. And Magneto, if they've got priority at the end of the game, or whenever you plan to activate your Fanfei, they can play Magneto and pull your Fanfei, and you might end up moving the wrong things. Anyway, synergies on the cards include our classic move scalers. I think Fanfei is a bit of a classic move card, right? So we think about our classic move scalers: Human Torch, Vulture, Dagger. I think it's fun to get those cards into the location. Although, very nice also to play Fanfei on curve, then play Spider-Man 2099 down on turn 5, and activate to move that Spider-Man 2099 and maybe get like a destroy off on your opponent's card. I think that could be pretty cool. And then just Vulture again as well. Vulture on the right location I think is going to feel really nice with Fanfei, no matter what you're doing. God, Craven is just such a huge beneficiary from today's injection of cards into the game. Anyway, here is the deck that I've got for you today, guys. It is actually a budget deck, and I think it might be dog shit actually because it's got Giganto in. So this feels like a bit of a classic move deck. We've got the Nebula, which is not a classic move card actually, so I don't know why my cadence of speech pattern was quite like that at that stage. Anyway, our more classic move cards include Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Dagger. We've got the Doctor Strange in here, the Vulture for the big scaling. But actually, I wanted to lean a little bit into the tricking element too. Yeah, sure, we can move this stuff and go to the right location with Fanfei, but what if we don't move and we do something like a Doctor Doom instead? Or we play the Doctor Doom and then we activate, and less cards than 3 are able to move into the right location, and it's just tricky dicky for your opponent. Or we do play the Spider-Man 2099, we do traditional things, then we move, and then maybe at the end of the game we do like an Ultron and we get more power in locations that your opponent wasn't expecting. Or we just do a very traditional play line of middle location. We've got Fanfei. We play the Fanfei on top of like the Dagger, the Vulture. We've got actually Craven's not in this deck. Maybe you could swap out Craven for Doctor Strange, right? You've got Craven on the right location. You've got all these big scalers mid. We do all of that, including Spider-Man 2099. We do all of that. At the end of the game, we're pretty much near certain going to win the right location with all this huge amount of power. And then we play Giganto on the left. Is Fanfei the biggest buff to Giganto they've ever done? I don't know. Anyway, you please like this video. I've worked insanely hard on content this week. So many videos coming, guys. So yeah, I'd really appreciate if you helped out the channel by liking and subscribing and smashing the notification bell. Right, star ratings for Fanfei. Overall, I think she's a 3.5 star card. I do think she's good for move. I think she's fascinating for move. I think it's very interesting that she's an activate card. But I do prefer the other 2 cards that have released alongside her. I think from a fun perspective, maybe she's only 3 stars. Because she's an activate card, she might be a little bit more frustrating. And you need to have her down to do stuff. So she's slightly less interactable, I guess is what I'm saying. Or she's going to do less than some of these other cards. And it's a bit harder to get her to work, right? For the archetype, though, I think she's 4 stars for that because she adds so much extra options, right? The ability to move to the right, the ability to add an activate card into your deck. It really expands the toolkit for move. But from a competitive standpoint, 3.5. I think she'll do well, or fine. Overall, though, I do actually have to say, I think she's probably a pass. I mean, this isn't quite to my personal feelings, because I am going to end up getting her. I'm going to be opening seasonal series 4 packs until I get her. Sorry, I need to... There's a terrible time at the end of the video, but I need to... And now I'm hiccuping as well. But yeah, I think she's the lesser exciting one of this new injection of cards. Anyway, what do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.